Well, hey, you're here. Fireball to the face. Flames on the side of my face. Now, I didn't get the chance to acknowledge your arrival with my perfunctory hurrah. And where is here, you may ask? This is, of course, the MindGriller Server. And in case you were wondering, I'm Gravity, and this is usually the moment wherein I say this is Cow. Nonetheless, on the other hand, conversely, and be that as it may, Cow is back where we left him in our last spine-tingling episode. Watch me shoot an arrow backwards over my shoulder. Anywho's the most faithful viewers among you, and that means both of you, will know that Cow does love a roller coaster. And what am I doing here in this fortress, you may ask? It is good to question why I was snooping around to find some loot in these chests, and to see what is going on inside. Spoiler, this fortress appears to be totally renovated in a tasteful, non-glammy, cheap but tawdry Las Vegas suburb overrun with vermin and insects sort of way. By the by, did you see the episode of Nachtdieren, wherein Raven, who I will acknowledge just this once is quite a handful, went to Las Vegas? These freaking blazes always setting my mohawk on fire. No, and nay. Now Cow is still not the same, and I don't dare mention it, bring it up, so to speak, foreshadowing, or rake it over the coals. The momentum of the portion of the episode with the coffin pillars and the guy's wife in a box part, it makes Cow feel a certain way, and not in a good way, and no one wants that. Now sometimes I think the Nether is just an excuse to set people on fire. And since when did blazes get the ability to shoot so far away? And did you notice on the server there's a sort of rendering bug? It does not appear when I play, but it does appear when rendered in the flashback mob. Look, ghost arrows. Now that's something. I will have you plural know. Hope springs eternal. That Cow has been in quite a state since he learned that physicist Richard Feynman's 1974 commencement speech. A word which does not have an A in it, mind you. At Caltech, upon the smoky, foggy must of the crookedly sloped, earthquake-cracked pavement, blighted runoff plains which make up most of Pasadena, California, was not recorded in any way. Now, Cow and I have searched for many hours upon many occasions and within many a rabbit hole for said video, but in fact, it appears that it does not exist. Now, before your eyes glaze over, this speech is not what you think. It is most often referred to by the title. You ready? Cargo Cult Science. Hey, Cow, you may have heard I was talking about your favorite celebrity, Richard Feynman. While I collect this cast here, I believe it will be even more useful in the upcoming updates to Minecraft. Spoiler. Hey now, is the whey separated from the butterfat yet? A roller coaster can have that effect on you. These freaking gas are quite dangerous. Cow, I think it's about time that we hit the road. Where were we? I believe Cow's beloved Feynman and his hefty bag of shade, which is usually thrown in the faces of his target whilst he gives an otherwise innocent sounding speech of seemingly untargeted random words and phrases. But unlike the word usage you may have observed from Queens, and not the borough infested with yuppies, or perhaps the ones you think of, ironically, in fairy tales, or Real Housewives franchise cast-offs mistyping the word poverty on that Twitter cesspool. Now the professionals at true shade throwing are in fact the best and most noted science brainiacs with tenured positions, mind you, and not a single drop of patience for suffering nary of a single fool. Which reminds me, I wonder what Tamara Judge is up to this evening. Inquiring minds want to know. Now, several pale replacements, which is not in reference in any way to the aforementioned with shame Tamara Judge, but rather to the equally inanimate videos which do appear on YouTube wherein some subpar animations are culled together from some slapdash weak sauce clip art style line drawings which play whilst the words from Feynman's speech is read by some annoying AI bot. These videos have been duly shunned by Cow as inauthentic and culturally sun-bleachable soul value. I won't add to the volume of rank Feynman speech copies here on YouTube. No, and nay. I will merely justly and quickly mention 2 points of interest held by Cow and I. Randomly, but also firstly, may I voice a brief note here in place of a prescript. The most retentive viewers among you will have been wondering when I would acknowledge why we are here in this fortress, which contains what seems like some sort of medical laboratory waiting room, which for unapparent reasons appears to be located next to what I assume is a drop and corral variety of blaze farm. Now, as long as we plural are here, I would not mind availing ourselves of some blaze rods, merely to add to Cal's blaze rod collection, mind you. Oh, and Cal, now, I will say here and now, he may be adorable and fleshy, and a solid proxy acting as a fulfiller of your well-documented separation anxiety complex. But I will say just this once, you may not keep him. Now, Cal, may I properly acknowledge to you that you appear to be not enough in an episode of roller coaster dizziness, car sickness, and profound general miscellaneous. If you feel the need to overshave, please turn your head away from your newest, bestest, and closest friend. No one other than politicians or those in power, and perhaps not even Tama Judge, wants to witness such a catastrophe of steaming, half-gurgitated flash flood proportions. Now, for some reason, I feel the need to simultaneously belabor, over-explain, and expound upon this glaring, unmistakable, and manifestly palpable dramatization set forth contemporaneously and at this very moment in this spine-tingling episode wherein I shoot arrows at this freaking blaze. To illuminate my fascinatingly broad TED Talk quality blather, mind you. Now, we were talking about Cal's favorite scientist, Dr. Feynman, and his excoriatingly shady commencement speech, wherein he compared his lesser colleagues to cargo cultists. Now, the cleverest among you will already be wondering what the heck are these cargo cults of which I speak? Now that is a good question. The term cargo cults refers to Melanesian religious and social movements wherein adherents ritualistically imitated Western practices. Now, Feynman's speech describes how, after World War II, some South Sea Islanders attempted to bring back the material wealth in the form of cargo they had seen delivered by Allied aircraft by imitating the visible actions of the military. This included, and here I kid you not, building runways, lighting fires along said runways, waving flags to direct non-existent planes, and constructing makeshift control towers with controller dudes wearing bamboo headphones and bamboo antennas on their heads and atop their huts in an attempt to lure the return of more cargo, which they believed was rightfully theirs but had been intercepted by colonizers. Feynman is most famous for saying, quote, "The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool." Now, beyond science, these words underscore human susceptibility to confirmation bias and self-delusion in everyday reasoning. Richard Feynman was, of course, in a very non-underhanded gesture, putting forth, introducing the actions of the Melanesian people to draw a ley line. Now, they're definitely not a pseudoscience/pseudo-archaeology stray to compare the actions of fellow doctors and scientific researchers to the mannered, unscientific actions of a cargo cult. The call is coming from within the laboratory. Ugh, now this is quite some journey. Now the pungent smell of sulfur and unregulated industries are giving mental images of somewhere in the heart of Texas, which is a simultaneously ironic and unironic turn of phrase insofar as, and to boot, Texas does not have a heart, in that it is after all an inanimate locale, or to quote John Steinbeck, who wrote in Travels with Charlie, In Search of America, 1960, quote, "I have said that Texas is a state of mind, but I think it is more than that. It is a mystique closely approximating a religion." End quote. Well, there, now we have it. Texas is a noun, just perhaps not the one you were thinking of. Now, speaking of nouns in Texas, and not the ones you were thinking of, before today's spine-tingling episode, Cow and I came across a story about a doctor in Texas. Seminole, Texas, to be exact. You plural may have also come in contact with this story. It involves a quack, a duck, a doctor, all rolled into 4-to-1, a turducken, so to speak. No. Let us begin at the beginning. Once upon a time, in the year of our Lord, somewhere in time previous to the 1960s, 2.6 million deaths occur each year worldwide due to the measles. And what is the measles, you may ask? Also a good question. The measles is one of the most infectious diseases known to man. One person with the measles can infect up to 9 out of 10 unvaccinated people who come in close contact with said person. The virus spreads through the air when an infected person breathes, coughs, or sneezes, and contagions can linger in the air or on surfaces for up to 2 hours after the said measles-infected person transports their infection to another location. People are contagious from 4 days before until 4 days after the appearance of the measles rash upon their person, which is all quite scary. But in 1963, a vaccine was introduced, and subsequently, in the year of our Lord 2000, the measles was declared eliminated from the United States thanks to a highly effective vaccination program and improved measles control in the Americas. So what could go wrong? Well, people like you and Cow and I have been exposed to anti-vaccine misinformation, encountered widespread anti-vaccine messaging, influenced by pervasive anti-vaccine narratives, exposed to vaccine-related disinformation and skepticism. Well, everyone needs a hobby, and so the vaccination against measles was, shall we say, looked upon with narrowed eyes and fiercely, fearfully conspiracy-filled brains. By the by, encephalitis is also a symptom, mind you. No. Back to Texas and our story. In said story, there is a guy, a doctor, interrobang, who is seen in a video treating patients and meeting with the parents and families of measles-infected children, whilst he himself, and here I kid you not, can be seen in said videos with a measles rash on his face. Now, when asked on camera, the guy says, I got the measles yesterday. And yesterday, when Cow and I saw the video, Cow gasped and I gasped. And then I thought, was I ever vaccinated? Now, I assume I was, but I'm not certain. So then I asked AI, and AI didn't know. And then I asked AI, can Cow get the measles? It turns out there's something called beef measles or meat measles, which is entirely different. This condition is caused by the larval stage of the human tapeworm, not by the measles virus. Yeah. When did I last eat fish sticks? Now, speaking of an investigation, a query, a tale worth pondering while simultaneously worthy of a viable denouement. The story, not the fish sticks, leads Cow and I to have some questions. Number 1, is it against the law or is it morally apprehensible to expose people, including children, who are your patients and who are told to come in to see their doctor, meaning you, whilst you are infected with a highly communicable disease, namely the measles? Hippocratic oath, anyone? And 2, of the deaths so far in Texas, how many, if any, had already visited a doctor who was infected with the measles? And how many, if any, in the future who will die of said measles had visited said doctor? And 3, have you ever felt as though you were locked in your house and it is the house itself which won't let you out? No, perhaps living in Texas is a different kettle of fish. Hey, before I forget, I was thinking of engaging in one of my favorite hobbies, namely rifling through the chests and barrels of others, in this instance for some, cooked cod. I do love a good rifle. Unless my eyes were deceiving me, perhaps there were unrifled barrels in the desk downstairs. I see your plushy cowboy friend is still here. Oh, goody. Hey, Cow, did you miss me? Perhaps I missed you more. Did you know that it's sadly time to say our goodbyes? Which is, of course, due in part to your bone-chilling separation anxiety. Did you say something, Cow? No, I'm afraid. Cow, okay, with that being said, goodbye so long. You all take care now, you hear? Catch you later, partner. No pun intended. Don't be a stranger. And God bless Texas and your chicken pox spreading